what these teams are going to go for. Kungarna, of course, they banned Eagle Eye as their kind of pocket ban last time. Curious to see if we'll get a repeat of that. And at this point, we haven't had a map unplayed now that we've seen Mexico yesterday in Kungarna's match. It would be interesting to see them play it again against a higher caliber team on that map, though.
I really hope Kungarna will ban Ankara, which is not the case. They ban Eagle Eye once again, which I really don't understand.
Yeah, I understand it. I get it. I think you're right in what you're saying, but I understand why Eagle Eye is going to get banned there by Kungarna. If they ban it yesterday, they know they're going up against All Gamers, which is a good map for those guys. It makes sense that it gets banned again here today, but like you said, that leaves Ankara open, and no doubt about it, All Gamers is going to head in that direction. Now, obviously, Mexico's available here for Kungarna. I think that's the best case scenario, right? You want to go for Mexico here. You've already kind of showed your hand on it. You talked about maybe saving things in the back pocket for that next game that they have to play against LCK. Let's go for Mexico as our choice again. Leave whatever else it is that's maybe in the strat book, kind of in the back pocket. And potentially, yeah, a chance to upset All Gamers. I know aren't huge fans necessarily of Mexico.
Yeah, I think the hard part is Imperial had a really bad GR on Mexico yesterday, but All Gamers, they get a start on GR here, and I feel like they're one of the strongest GR teams in this event, so it's going to be, I think, a lot harder to have a similar start to what they had yesterday. And of course, map 2, no surprises here, being Ankara as the pick for All Gamers. The big question now is, what are we going to get out of map number 3? Potentially could be a port or a compound left on the table here. I feel like maybe port might be the best option left for Kungarna now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's surprising that actually All Gamers banned sub-base. I mean, okay, they lost against LCK, but usually Compound is the main ban. So I think All Gamers will ban Compound for sure, and Kungarna might ban Black Widow. I think port would be the ideal third map for them. So if they win Mexico and then they start port maybe even on Glow Risk, they could actually have a shot even winning this one. But of course, they need to win Mexico because Ankara, I don't see them having huge chances getting this one.
Yeah, I feel like Mexico is really the decider here at this point. I know when they played it previously, they looked really good on that BL side, but it is going to be the compound ban coming out. Not a huge surprise there from Kungarna. I'm probably anticipating port as that final map. I don't think they're going to pick Black Widow over it on AG's side. Do you think there's a world where they maybe go for it? Hey, I guess it is. It's Black Widow, map number 3. So definitely an interesting final map here, but I feel like port might have been a little bit better for Kungarna to get out of this.
I mean, I'll be honest, I feel like they didn't do their research, Kungarna, because I think All Gamers wouldn't have picked Eagle Eye, they wouldn't have picked Compound, so it's unnecessary to ban these kind of maps. And I think port would have been much better as the third map. But at least they got the Mexico, right? At least they can play Mexico, but I feel quite comfortable as we saw yesterday.
Yeah, well, the question is, are they going to be able to recapture that kind of form that they had on Mexico, or was it a one-hit wonder? And maybe Imperial just starting a little bit slow. Are we expecting All Gamers to start slow again on day 3 of the group stage? I would be very surprised if they had another poor performance in this event.
Yeah, I think the big thing that they've got to be ready to deal with on the All Gamers side is I felt like Imperial didn't have a strong answer for that water push that Kungarna loves to do here. The NA teams always historically do that quite a bit on their BL side. So if All Gamers has a way to deal with that, I feel like this is a much harder starting half already for Kungarna.
I mean, like pushing water and tunnels, it's a good counter if the enemy team's playing aggressive in mid, right? Because usually then only one player's covering tunnels and water. The issue is with All Gamers, usually they like to play more passive and more reserved, at least in the Chinese Pro League. Maybe the approach is different now against an A team. But usually if you have like 3 players on A side and 2 players on B side, especially they have, again, like 4 of the best rifles in the world, it's gonna be tough to execute towards either A or B. But yeah, let's see how it goes. I mean, there's always, you know, like never change running system, so I would still try to go for those water executes.
Well, here we go, just about ready to start on Mexico. It is going to be Kungarna attacking on that blacklist side first, taking a look at some of the pick bans. Of course, Mexico not reappearing until 2022. It had a couple of years out of the rotation, and then Eagle Eye as well being one of those maps coming in later. But you can see here, very GR-sided, probably I would say the most GR-sided map in the pool currently, and it seems to only get more and more in that direction, but a lot of it comes down to that utility in mid. It's so easy to just put up a wall of smokes, run down the clock, add that extra pressure, but I feel like compared to most teams we've seen on Mexico, Kungarna does a really good job of not letting that mid-smoke presence really stop them from doing what they want to do.
100%. Actually, that was the difference I thought for Kungarna compared to other teams that I've seen on Mexico, is that they're not necessarily playing this sort of fearful early round style. They are actually more than happy to try to dictate the pace a little bit. We saw them push in through alley in the second round of the game that they played yesterday, and then even the first round, it was like straight through tunnel into B. Second round, it was straight through alley into A. And then third round, it was like straight into mid. It was like just 3 very quick rounds, and they didn't really like mess around. They didn't really slow things down at all. They didn't really give their opponents any respect, and I kind of like that. It was a refreshing look at Mexico, which is, like I've said, I've been quite outspoken about it. My least favorite map in the pool. I've oftentimes found the early rounds quite boring on that map, but I think Kungarna brought a bit of a different vibe to it that I haven't really seen from many other teams. So I want to give them credit for that, and I hope that they can kind of redo that again today. I know it's going to be tough against a team like All Gamers for sure, but you kind of have to play your own style if you want to win in this game. So I hope they'll be able to run it back and have a good game here on Mexico, but we'll see. Starting on BL's side, it sounds like it should be bad. It definitely sounds like on paper that should be bad, but Kungarna made it work yesterday.
Yeah, I think a lot of it in my mind comes down to, is Famous going to have the same day? I feel like that's a must-have here for them to win this matchup, and then even an increase in step-up from someone like Kai's as well. And that's what's really hard on a map like Mexico. There's not the same value in your sniper player in this environment. Do you see 7 Kai's still trying to snipe here on Mexico, or a lot more rifling coming out of him?
And to be honest, it doesn't make too much sense to play sniper rifle on Blacklist. I feel like unless you go maybe for like entry frags in this water area. But usually also Kai's doing a great job of the M4. Also my team, we used to play Mexico a lot last year. So he's also a decent M4 player. I just feel like Du might be the better rifle than him. So, you know, Mexico, it's always the question is always like which type of rifle is also the better like M4, you know? Because usually sniper rifle is always sticking to the M4. And I feel like Du is having the upper hand here.
Yeah, I think so as well. Du just a little bit more versatile on this map, I think, is going to have that extra value. Something I was surprised not to see from Kungarna on the Mexico yesterday was no shotguns. That's something that they used to do a lot in the past, and I'd be interested to see if they bring that out in this matchup.
Remember, like, Brandon was using the shotgun, right, back then on Mexico in alleyway. So maybe we're going to see some shotgun plays from this guy.
What's going on? I mean, it seems like everyone's ready on the stage. I feel like both teams look like they're waiting to start the game.
Looks like we are ready as well here. We're going to be kicking off our first matchup of the day. It is going to be All Gamers looking to find themselves another win on the board, or Kungarna looking for their first series in this event so far. It's going to be an intense one, and it all starts on Mexico for map number 1. Looks like we are hopping into it. Of course, as we mentioned, Kungarna starting on the Blacklist side to kick it off, and already going for some alley control here. You can see a little bit of a mid presence, but this time not getting too eager at the start of the round, but you can see All Gamers as well, not too worried about giving up mid control early on here.
That's what I meant usually, you know, like All Gamers playing quite reserved, passive and grow risk, playing with 3 players on A, usually 2 players on B, especially due to sniper rifle, doing a great job usually on this B bomb side.
Well, fast in through mid. Again, All Gamers going to have to deal with the consequences of Kungarna's map pick. Great start from Famous. Need to see him firing up in this series. Great shot though from Du as well. So excellent response, and All Gamers may not quite go down with as little of a fight as what Imperial did on this map.
Yeah, I like the approach here as well to trying to clear out this B bomb site, but they do not know Even is in the corner. Even gets the double kill, looking for the triple. Michael now the only player alive for Kungarna, and just that one player staying alive in that corner, Even
Huge.
gets so much value for all gamers.
On top of that as well, Du gets a double kill before the entry actually happens, right? So he gets that first pick for all gamers, and then as they're hitting the site, he gets one more as well. So he's done his job. Even sitting in the corner as well, getting a multi-frag. I mean, that's just the perfect site anchoring really coming through from all gamers.
Yeah, great off angle from Even. What I liked, he didn't even overcommit right after getting 2-piece here, Even falling back behind this quad box, waiting for his teammates to help him out. And yeah, perfect play from Even and also from Du. Instant quickscope onto Mercs.
Yeah, now it's gonna shake Kungarna a little bit here because I feel like that same execution worked so well in their match yesterday, and it's already been shut down in the first round pretty handedly on that hold from all gamers. So now we are going to see a bit of a mid-take coming out from Kungarna, but the smoke screen stalling them out. This time, though, ZY and Even playing kind of a bait-and-switch role here in mid, and now they've got a little bit more attention on this mid presence.
Well, the resmoke. We'll be seeing a lot of that from all gamers.
Usually you have to wait like 1 minute to like 1 minute 30 seconds maybe, because most teams will waste around like 4 to 5 smokes. So at 40 seconds left on the clock you can enter mid basically, because rushing through a smoke is usually not very helpful.
Well, unless your name is Mercs, he's been able to find the opening kill, but instantly traded down, and again, Even will find himself a double. So he is definitely holding his own. Du going to try to escape? No, he wants to take the fight to Famous, and that will prove to be the wrong choice. ZQ was challenging from the backside. It ends up being a 1-for-1. And it's ZQ and Jue that will try to hold on here, but it is just Brando left alive now for Kungarna. And this might be 2 on the trot for all gamers. Flash over the top. He's trying to plant the C4. But has actually opted better of it. Waiting to see if there's going to be a push from all gamers. There's no incentive, though, for them to push in here until they hear that C4 going down. We'll fake the plant. And that is going to prompt a bit of a response from all gamers. Time of the essence now, though, for Brando, and he is inevitably going to have to stick it. And he might just get timed on that, which is unfortunate. He was trying to play the patience game, but all gamers were a little bit too patient in the end.
Yeah, pretty smart move here from all gamers, retaking from alleyway to avoid that Michael can get a 2-piece here. I mean, Brando through the gap. This is also quite risky enough to try to retake from B main, and then there's this little gap, and Brando could have got a 2-piece maybe.
Yeah, just a really tough round there. All gamers just really solid with the rotations and not playing quite as risky on the retake positions as we saw from Imperial, almost allowing themselves to be a little overexposed here. All gamers just holds the right angles and makes sure when they do go in for the commitments, they always have those trade setups ready to go. And it's showing to be already a lot harder for Kungarna to deal with. And also they're, I think, giving a little extra respect here to all gamers that maybe they shouldn't as well. I feel like against Imperial, they were more assertive in taking control of this map, going for those water pushes, going for those earlier presence in mid, but against all gamers, they're just kind of doing what other teams would do and sitting behind that wall of smokes.
Yeah, this is starting to give me a little bit of a memory to the game that all gamers played on Mexico against Pacific Makta in Vietnam, where they were able to 10-1 them. And I think it was ZY, it was either ZY or ZQ, who literally got 0 kills in like the first half. And they still won the first half. I'm pretty sure it was like, I mean, obviously they won the map 10-1, so it was, you know, you can infer from yourselves what the scoreline might have been in the first half. Oh, what a shot from Du. And maybe you heard us talking. Wants to make amends for it. Does a good job there. Another multi-frag, and that's the problem for Mexico and for Kungarna. Like, if you're going to try and make that push happen, you can't allow Du to get 2 there. He needs to be traded down straight away. Again, 1 more for Kais, but it's not really quite enough. Brando in the 1-on-3 has started well with the kill onto ZY, but lines up for the last couple of members there for all gamers. And I mean, yeah, are we on the way to like a dominant scoreline like that?
Yeah, Du with the great opener here through the smoke and tunnels. And this is what I also expected Gurken to do yesterday, but Gurken, like we saw, missing a couple of crucial shots. Also, the main reason I felt like Kungarna got so many rounds on his blacklist side. And yeah, all gamers seem to be prepared here on this specific map. Maybe they also studied Kungarna yesterday, so they're pretty sure that they will play Mexico once again today.
Yeah, they've definitely put a lot more attention on making sure they've got multiple players holding off that water position if Kungarna does go over there. I mean, we saw so many times yesterday where Kungarna went through and there was only one defender on the other side. Instantly, all gamers, they had 3 players there ready to stop that push, and there was just no way through for Kungarna. And this is where this map can get quite difficult because now you play it a little bit more safe. You try and wait for some of that utility, but you do see a nice counter flash coming out over the top. Mercs, again, finding the entry in mid onto ZY. But here come the trades. ZQ able to find one onto Kai's, and they still don't have a whole lot of map control to work with out of that push.
I feel like Kungarna is doing a decent job here in mid. They're always getting an entry track. Just the executes didn't work out at all yet.
Yeah, and there's another instance of it. ZQ able to double down before the execute even really gets rolling. Now it's Michael and Famous who will try to salvage, but Famous over the top of the box is cut down by Zhui, and Du gets the final kill of the round. It is another one on the board for all gamers, and Kungarna will call the early timeout. Much needed at this point.
Yeah, very much needed here. I'm hoping they can find a way to capitalize on a few of these positions where they've had success. Mercs has been able to clear out mid pretty successfully most of the time. The water pushes, though, not working quite as well. I'd love to see maybe a fast execute on the A bomb side come out of Kungarna. They haven't really shown it too much yet on this map, but I think it could be a decent way to maybe catch them off guard. But when you have all gamers playing this passive and having the trade setup still there, it's so hard for them to crack through.
Yeah, I agree. Either going for like fast executes could work out, or even sending maybe Kai's with the sniper rifle towards alleyway or tunnels, going for some entry picks there. Surprising because usually Kai's always playing M4 here on blacklist side, and I think all gamers wouldn't expect him to use the sniper rifle, especially in alleyway. You know, when all gamers using like having like 2 players in mid, there's only 1 player on A side, so if Kai's gets the opener in alleyway, A side would be completely open, so this might catch him off guard.
Yeah, it would be a nice change to see. We'll see exactly what they do, though, coming out of this pause. Only a few moments left for them to decide. Famous also pretty quiet so far in this one. They're doing a great job of shutting him down. He hasn't got more than a one-and-done situation so far on this map, and it's proved to make it even more difficult because I feel like part of the success also in that first showing they had was they knew Famous was going to frag, but now this time it's not quite the case. We can see here in the replay, though, ZQ doing a great job of playing around these smokes, and I think that's another big difference here on the defense that All Gamers is really good at. It's just playing around their utility. Already, though, in this one, it's going to be ZY who gets the double. He's looking for the triple. It's not going to matter. The whole team is there. ZY gets the triple. ZQ able to help secure it, and that is a fast round over to All Gamers out of the pause.
That's not the kind of round that you want to be pulling out after the timeout. You have all that time to have a chat and think about what you want to do, and then you go into it, you think, yeah, okay, we're going to finally break it wide open, and then that happens. It's like, well, okay, we're back to square one, now what?
It's also what I meant, right? Like, the rotations from Chinese teams are always on point. They instantly had 3 players in front of water area. They were quite aware that Kungarna wants to push here this tunnel area. I felt like this is also the reason why Imperial lost so many rounds on GR side. When Gokun realized he'll push water, he would just escape towards A side and left water completely open. I felt like this was a big issue for them yesterday.
Yeah, now we can see Kai's trying to be the entry for his team. He's got the in hand, looking here towards the A bomb site, but he is quickly taken down and out of the picture from Zhui, and now it's already looking like another tough round on their hands. Famous able to find one, but again, the trades, they're always there for All Gamers. They keep the numbers advantage, even though we do have a player on 5 HP, but Brando sneaks up the alley, finds Zhui, and now they've got something to work with here. Michael, though, caught alone pushing out of water, and they already lose the numbers advantage they've created. ZY able to find another before going down. Now it's a 1-on-2 for Mercs.
He's going to eat a grenade, which will tag him down, and, well, it didn't even get too exciting in the end for Kungarna. It's not looking good, guys.
Not at all here, unfortunately. I thought, even though going into this one I would have favored all gamers on this map, with Kungarna looking strong on it, I would have expected it to be somewhat closer, but it just goes to show you how hard it can be to go up against a good team on this GR side. It's just so tough for them to find any picks to work with. And again, already 3 players dead from Kungarna, make it a 4th. Why not the whole team? 7-0, and there's just no clean way to break through here. 7, I mean, in this situation, is there anything that you've noticed that maybe Kungarna can do to stop this madness?
I mean, the scary part here is, once all gamers got the momentum, like we also saw yesterday in the match against LCK, I mean, on the first day, it's really tough to stop them, My approach would be like, guys, come on, let's try to get the last 2 rounds at least, so it's still doable on GR side. I felt like it was the right approach to send Kaisi towards mid with the sniper rifle. Unfortunately, J-Way caught him off guard, but I would just play a little bit more reserved. Like, these fast executes towards water and mid simply doesn't work out because the real-life setups from all gamers are much better than the ones from Imperial yesterday. So I would send Kais either towards alleyway, mid area, or tunnels to get some entry frags, and then execute together towards B side. I think B side is much easier to execute if you don't have the best entry fraggers, because A side there's so many angles to clear, and I mean when they pushed A side, I think they only got like 1 frag. So yeah.
Yeah, already a tough position to be in as well. 5-on-4, and it's not the same start that we saw in day 1 from ZQ and ZY as well. They're actually leading the charge on map number 1 here. ZQ over 100 ADR in this one already. And of course, Famous only on 3 frags compared to his 20 in his first showing on Mexico just makes it so much more challenging to find any way back into this match. Michael, you can see here trying to get this pick in water, but ZQ spots him out. Both exchanging a little bit of damage back and forth, but when they're already down a player, Kungarna knows they can't afford to make any more mistakes in this round.
They managed to do some pretty good damage. ZQ, Even, and Do all at about half HP, so they should be a little easier to clear up, but even finding frags themselves has been a little difficult for Kungarna in the last couple of rounds, and ZQ doesn't really care how much HP he's got. He's got that frag onto Michael. ZY the same can be said onto Famous, and in fact he'll even double or triple down. All gamers are making this look so damn easy. And when I was talking about that game against Pacific Market at the 10-1, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's probably a bit early to be talking about this. But now, the 10-1 or even the 10-0 is really feeling quite realistic for all gamers.
Yeah, especially knowing that they've got their pick up next. It's not looking too good here for Kungarna. Hopefully, they can at least find a round before this one's all said and done. It would be a real turnaround to see them go down 10-0 after winning this map against Imperial 10-5 yesterday, but it just goes to show you the difference between these two teams. All gamers on the GR side, they're just such a tough team to go up against. Shui gets the first 2, finds one as well, and it's just a complete slaughter here in this one, and already it's going to be the half done and dusted, 9-0.
I'll tell you what, guys. We started talking at 12:25. The game started at 1:05, and it's now 20 past 1. So it might be like a 15-minute map for like a 40-minute pre-show. That's not a good feeling. That's really not a good feeling if you're Kungarna. They're just not showing up today at all. I don't know, is this going to be the first 10-0 of the tournament? Kind of feels like it to me.
Yeah, I mean, it seems likely at this point we are going to see them go down 10-0, and especially knowing it's the opponent's map pick on the way as well. It's just such a hard thing to think about Kungarna bouncing back from. But yeah, I mean, already in this first round, it's 2-on-4 for Kungarna, so they've done a lot right on the GR side. Even and Do still looking good to try and make this one happen. Do creeping up the alleyway here to try and find an opening back into the round, and this is where Kungarna really has to make sure they're ready to go on these trades. You can see Do there, spots out one, backs off, tries to get that support system to come through from his teammate, but even he's kind of just hanging out here on the other side of the map near water.
Yeah, we didn't get to see what happened because we were watching the replays, but I can only imagine all gamers tried to sort of disrespect them and just charge into mid through a smoke and took a bit of a brawl, which obviously didn't pay off. I think that's fine when you're up 9-0, right? Just just throw that sort of round in and see what happens. Doesn't obviously work in this case, and this is a nice flank from Brando that's going to secure the round. So Kungarna will get at least one. They'll avoid the embarrassment of a 10-0. But it's certainly not been their day.
Yeah, I like the approach there in round number 1, making sure they could get it done. Here's a replay of essentially what we missed at the beginning. Famous starting to hit those headshots again on this side of the map. So he grabs himself a nice double to open up that first round of the half. But to think about doing that 8 more times in a row against all gamers, that's an almost impossible task here. Kai's gonna spot the shoulder of that first player coming out of the water. Doesn't matter. ZY back-to-back taps gets them the advantage, and now this could be the beginning of the end.
So you're probably right, Kyle. I think 5-on-3, it's going to be tough to bring this one back for Kungarna, especially considering all gamers have got site control as well, and they'll get a plant down really early. Like even before Kungarna can start their rotate, the bomb plant has gone down, and it's going to be ticking, being held off by huge amounts of util here from all gamers as well. And only now is Kungarna starting to make their way across to the B site, but quarter of the bomb ton has already ticked away, and you've still got to get through 4-5 members of all gamers. Do will start well. ZY might be the one to finish it here, but in the end it is Jue, and that's a 10-1 victory for all gamers. Absolute dominance on Mexico.